Alright, this water is going to be cold. Getting ready to go in. I filmed Gold just downstream a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to go under this waterfall since I have a dredge. And I'm going to see what's underneath it. I can feel some heavy gravels down there. I can see some heavy gravels, so I'm going to run through the GoldiBox back here. Here in just a minute, I'm going to show you what's coming through the dredge. At the end of this video, I'll show you what I get. I'm going to try to get up underneath these rocks. I feel some of the sand and some of the heavy cobbles and rocks at the bottom. Now I'm going to get right underneath the waterfall where most of the gold should be. I moved some rocks before I started doing this and used my pick to stir some of it up. I know exactly where it is. So I'm going to get down into it and move some of those rocks. Alright, so I've got the nozzle right underneath that waterfall right now, and you can see some of the cobbles are still coming out. I've got it right underneath the waterfall right now where I was dredging, and I prefer using this electric backpack dredge by GoldiBox. It's 3D printed simply because it is extremely hard to get metal sluice in your pontoons in remote places like this. It only weighs 3 pounds. I could put it in my backpack and I can easily get it to a location like this. I would have to hike in one of my metal sluices, metal dredges with a metal sluice on it, and my pontoons, and I'd have to carry it 3 miles, and there's no way that I would be able to do that. I mean, I could, but it would be a pain in the ass. And honestly, I do this for fun and to enjoy myself. And I want to make it as enjoyable as possible, and this system right here for dredging is perfect. Now, since I've set up my battery box and soldered it, and I've got those 10-foot alligator clips, it is so much easier. I feel so much better about my battery box sitting up there in a box, my battery in my battery box sitting up on that rock, versus like in my last video, I had to put it practically in the creek on a rock, and so many things could go wrong doing that. So this is much what I'd prefer. I built this little flotation system that I showed in one of my other videos, and it was simple to make. All I did was ordered some sea floats, and I got some U-bolts, some 7-inch U-bolts, ran them through the sea floats, which were 5x11. I got a little old riffle tray that I didn't use out of one of my high bankers, and I just drilled holes in the side of the riffle tray, and then I put the U-bolts through the floats, and it was simple. It was real simple, and you could do this easily. And then I've got this little system right here so that obviously my GoldiBox doesn't flow downstream. Now I do have the hose, and I could grab onto the hose, but you know, I don't want to babysit my dredge when I'm doing this. As I mentioned, I like doing this for fun and as a hobby, and I want to make it as pleasurable as I can. Now, I've hooked this to a tree right here so that it doesn't move. It's a simple little system. I went to Home Depot, I got this little rope right here. It's connected connected to these clips right here. I just clip it on the side of my U-bolt. It's easy. And then I've got my straps this time that I use. It was just a bungee cord and a strap I bought, and they're cheap. It's the whole system's cheap. I paid like $30–40 for the float, so you can do that too. The pump that GoldiBox recommends is the Oasis 3700 GPH Bilge Pump. I've got it works perfect, but I've got a SEAFLO 3700 GPH pump coming in, and I'm also going to order the way they've got a 3D printed pipe that allows you to put 2 bilge pumps together, and I've got an 1100 gallon per hour SEAFLO bilge pump, and I'm going to connect that with my 3700 gallon per hour SEAFLO bilge pump, and I'm going to see how that system works. I'm talking to y'all, so my dredge isn't really working right now. But yeah, this is definitely what I would recommend. It is perfect for little systems like this, because I like going and hiking. I want to be productive when I'm hiking. I don't like hiking for no purpose. So being able to backpack these things in and be able to go dredge in remote locations where people haven't hit, it's perfect. It is perfect for this type of setup. And look how beautiful this waterfall is. And I know there's gold in this creek. I've found it plenty of times. As I mentioned in my last video, I got a book. It's called Images of America, Gold in North Carolina, Gold Mines in North Carolina. And it has a map of some locations where the old timers took the creeks and they highlighted in black where gold has been found in these creek beds. And I just went on Google Maps and got it was an exact location, because they didn't draw exact coordinates, but I could pretty much look at the maps that they drew, and I saw on this creek, at the end of the creek, there was a little split off, and they had it marked on there, and I was able to, go in the general location where they had found gold, and I just started test panning until I hit gold. And the deposits in North Carolina are smaller than out west. All over the East Coast, it's a lot smaller, but our deposits are much richer. They have more gold in them when you find them, and the purity of our gold is usually 23 carats. When you go out west, it's much lower, and their deposits are smaller. You could find deposits easier, but I prefer being in North Carolina and finding high-grade gold and rich deposits. Yes, you have to look more, but I enjoy prospecting. As I mentioned, I like going hiking, and if I can make hikes productive by finding gold, then why not? It's fun. It's like a treasure hunt, and it's a great hobby. It gets you outdoors, and it's just a great system. But this is what I do on the weekends for fun, and this looks like a nice setup. I don't know about you, but it's beautiful to me. And that waterfall right there is probably about 2 feet, 3 feet maybe, so it's not that deep. And typically, you don't want to hit high velocity areas, but considering that I found gold in some of these high velocity areas, just over there I found gold. I've just started hitting this waterfall, and I'm going to see how much gold I can pull out of it, because there's definitely some. How much, I don't know. There could be a lot, there could be none. But typically, if you find gold in a creek or a river, you're going to find gold underneath waterfalls. Alright, so whenever I pan, when I sample, I'll use a Garrett Super Sluice. I'll use it for sampling because you can obviously move more material. But whenever I know there's gold in my concentrates, I will always use a little pan, because you can be more thorough with a little pan. So I start by shaking, I hold it flat, and then I gently start to tilt it, okay? And I get everything in the corner there. And in this little pan, I'll always give it a couple taps, okay? And then I'll tilt it. At first, I'm a little bit more aggressive. I'll tilt more. And as I go down with my concentrates, I do this every time. I hold it flat, I tilt it forward, okay? Aggressive, aggressive, aggressive.
then when I get them down a little bit, I always go through and I'll pull out any cobbles, any big rocks. Okay, I always do this. So I'll go pull all the rocks to the back and make sure they're all thoroughly cleaned out. Make sure there's no gold attached to them, okay? And then shake, 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 flat, shake to the corner, give it a couple love taps. And as I'm going, I'm not tilting my pan as much, especially when you get down to the bottom. And I already see some gold. I'm gonna show you guys this right now. See there in that corner, you can already see some pixie tails there. Giving us a little smile there out of the side. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and suck that up. Anytime that I see any gold, I go ahead and suck it up. I don't care. You can always. All right, so flat, so tilt it a little bit, give it a little love tap, and now I'm not gonna tilt it as much. I'm just gonna hold it a little bit of a tilt. You gotta hold a little bit of a tilt, but basically flat. Because you're getting down there and your material can go over the side, your concentrates and your gold can go out of the pan. So I got me a little bit of jet dry in there, and I'm getting down to the last little bit. Keep washing. Another good thing about using a bucket, is when you use a bucket, you can empty all your concentrates in the bucket, and then when you're done, you can go back through them again just to make sure that you do a thorough clean out. I always get it down pretty low too. So I'm holding it pretty much flat, just barely a tilt, so you can see barely any's going over now that I'm down low. All right, now let's clean it up. I'm gonna try to do this with one hand, so be easy on me. Yes, this is very hard with one hand. See it coming through. Let's set it down and get that gold. I'm back at home and I am going to do a snuffer dump from the gold that I found out of the GoldiBox Dredge and show you a total of what I have found from that waterfall. Alright, so here we go. I still got a lot of black sand in it. Alright, let's see what it looks like. I haven't removed all the black sand. I got a little tray I can do that with, but I haven't done it yet. I know I saw a couple good little nuggets in there. There it comes. One really good sized picker in there. Could definitely grab that with my finger. Some of it's fallen to the bottom there. So that was just from about an hour and a half of dredging that little waterfall. And as you can see, let me try to get you a little bit closer. Hold on, I'm gonna set this down now. There you go. That is some good North Carolina gold right there. Some of the gold fell down there. But look at that picker right there, man. That is a big one. Let me see if I can get my phone to focus. Look at that. That's some nice chunky gold. Got some little flakes down there. That's it. There is a little bit down here. See those little specks that fell down there, but that's the majority of it right there. Not bad. I knew there was good gold in that waterfall. I knew it. And I didn't even get all of it. That was just from an hour and a half. If I'd have spent all day down there, I probably could have got, I don't know, 2 grams, gram and a half. It's at least a half a gram right there. Probably closer to 3/4 of a gram. But man, I like that one right there. That's it.
So, I hope you enjoyed my video. This is a video on the GoldiBox Dredge. And if I could get you to please smash that like and subscribe button, turn on the notifications, I'd appreciate it very much. Thank you.